Okay, Kilmarnock returned to the top of the Scottish Premiership, albeit for 24 hours, with a 3-1 win over Dundee. They've leapfrogged Celtic again, although Celtic do have games in hand. This is good to see again. As I said last time when Kilmarnock reached the top of the table, they've been consistent. Apart from that 5-1 defeat to Celtic last weekend, they have been consistent. They've got one of the best records in the league over the last couple of months. And they've been just chipping away consistently. And Steve Clarke has done some pretty decent things with Kilmarnock on a far smaller budget than Celtic. Um, I think having a new name on the Scottish title will be the best thing for Scottish football in the long term. Short term, we know about the UEFA coefficient going against Scottish football with Celtic failing to make the Champions League. We know that Rangers falling out of the Europa League isn't going to help that coefficient either, because the more success they can get in getting to knockout stages and knockout games in Europe, the better the coefficient is. So Celtic scraping through, and that wasn't great either. They lost the game. They scraped through. You know, Scottish football needs some kind of fresh impetus, and if that means teams like Hearts and Livingston and Aberdeen and Kilmarnock and St Johnstone are also competing for the European spaces in Scottish football and for the title, that can only be a good thing. But Kilmarnock are back at the top of the Scottish Premier League with a bounce back 3-1 win against Dundee. They dominated the game from all reports, deserved winners, and if this means that Celtic are going to have a tougher fight to retain their title, so be it. And I think it's positive. Yes, the fact that Celtic have games in hand and a better goal difference, okay, that is in Celtic's favour, but they're not having it their own way this year. They had a slow start to the season. Rangers are sniffing around. Hearts are actually now starting to rebuild some form and get back into the discussion. Aberdeen are in the discussion now. Livingston are having a good start to the season. They're carrying on their good form, and St Johnstone are there as well. So it's not just Celtic and who's going to finish second. There's actually a far more contested, tight race for the top 7 places in Scottish football at the moment, which I think in the long term is actually beneficial for Scottish football. I think it's something that Scottish football's needed, is more competition and a closer league. And I do think there's some activity going to happen in January. I think Celtic have to strengthen that squad. They failed in the transfer market this summer, much like Man United. And it's highlighting some of the weaknesses of Brendan Rodgers as a manager, because he at Liverpool he underwhelmed at a big club. He's now in a big club in a small league, and he's seen to be this good boss. He isn't. He's an average manager. He just happens to be coaching in a very average league with the big club in the average league. So to see Kilmarnock and other sides give Celtic a good run for their money is healthy. But there we go. Kilmarnock are back at the top of the Scottish Premiership. So thank you very much for watching. If you are a Kilmarnock fan, you should be proud of your club for giving Celtic the finger. I would just say giving Celtic the V sign, saying, hey, we're still here. I think Scottish football needs this injection of a new club at the top, and Hearts at the beginning of the season were giving us that, and now Kilmarnock in the mid period of the season are giving us that. So it's tasty, and Aberdeen are really now closing the gap on the top clubs now. They've hit some form as well. So it's going to be an exciting second half of the season. So we'll have to see what happens in the transfer window and over the Christmas period. But I'm looking forward to the second half of the Scottish season, because I'm hoping that Celtic don't win the league and another club gets their name on that famous old trophy, and it makes Scottish football more competitive in the long run, because that's the only way Scottish football can improve at international level and at club level in Europe, is if it's more competitive as a league in its domestic state. So thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, place your comments below, and I'll have some more videos for you soon.